Yeah. Osiris did the bottom.
Cool.
And
Good
go.
work, guys. What is up, ladies and gentlemen? We got episode 29 of the Linux Tech and Gaming podcast. And we have a, just a packed list of show notes to share with you guys tonight. I'm really excited. You know, every week seems to be getting better and better with Linux gaming. More games coming out, more updates. We're just this is like, I dare say this is the year of Linux gaming because it's been said for the last 15 years, probably every year. But we're making progress. The developers are releasing games for Linux. There was a huge, AAA title, I would say, released just recently this week that we'll be touching on. Atomic, Osiris, how the hell are you guys doing tonight?
Same as always.
Well enough, well enough. We're alive. Talking about
Right?
some games.
Well, speak for yourself.
That's what matters.
Well, you're not alive? I don't get it.
Yeah.
He doesn't. He doesn't.
My
feel
flesh is
alive
going to
inside.
start. My flesh is going to start peeling off here very soon.
Okay.
All right.
Yell with that?
All right. So usually, we want to make sure that everybody is aware that we have, we have our player me's that are link down below each of our names. We have our Twitter handles down there, and the player me, we're utilizing that because it's one location for just a ton of social media links. It's got our Twitches, it's got our Twitters, it's got our YouTubes, it's got our Steam accounts, it's got our, you name it. All the social media is right there in one place on player.me/ each of our names. So, if you're ever curious, like, oh, what was Osiris's YouTube, because it's not actually youtube.com/user/Osiris. So you can find it out by going to player.me/Osiris, or you can get the information straight from linuxtechandgaming.com, and I believe it's on the About Us tab. So if you'd like to help us tonight with the show, a simple tweet of the show from the platform of your choice that you're watching it from, whether that be Twitch or Hitbox or YouTube, tweet it out. Let your buddies know that we have a great show planned for tonight. Get the viewers in here and let's have a two-way conversation. Once we go over our topics, we're always available to answer questions and whatnot. We have our hashtag that we utilize on Twitter, so that we have TweetDeck, and we have like a list created. It'll pull in every tweet that has the hashtag Linux T and G. So, if you ever have a question for all three of us, instead of directly mentioning one of us, you can use hashtag Linux T and G, and we will see that. We do have an IRC channel as well that we're sort of trying to utilize to aggregate everybody into one chat area, and that's on irc.freenode.net, and it is pound Linux Tech and Gaming. But, to be perfectly honest, Osiris just set up the linuxtechandgaming.com website. You can go there and you can watch the live stream embedded in the web page, and the chat is right there. Now, that chat is actually right, that's Hitbox's chat, right, Osiris?
Yes, Hitbox chat.
Okay, so, if you wanted to, instead of watching it on Hitbox, you want to watch it on Linux Tech and Gaming, which is just it's the Hitbox stream embedded. You can do that, and chat is right there, or like I said, you can check out the IRC channel, which is on screen. Is it on screen? I'm looking. Doesn't look like it. But we do have, like I said, the IRC channel is on Freenode, and it's Linux Tech and Gaming. So the first segment that we usually go over each week, Atomic's Linux Game Pick of the Week. Atomic, what do you got for us?
Well,
wait,
this
did you
week,
change this? You had a different game in here, didn't you?
Yes, I did, because this came out.
Yeah, this is big
Monday?
news. Yes, yeah.
Or was it Tuesday? I forget now. But it was out.
Some days.
Recently. Damn, really recently.
Yes, BioShock Infinite.
Uh,
This game came out
Whoa!
2 years ago.
BioShock Infinite.
Yes, this game came out 2 years ago, but it just got the Linux port recently. It showed up in our Steam libraries.
Months back, I'd say.
Yeah, like
Yep.
January, I want to say.
Yep, yeah, I recall. We were
Yeah,
all like,
and
download, download, download.
no executable.
Yeah, we got the dreaded no executable found. So we're
Yeah,
like,
that
ah.
happened.
Yeah, and then it was weird because it actually disappeared. One of you guys were like, whoa, BioShock's gone from our library. So that
Yeah,
was.
it did disappear.
Yeah.
But this is one of those Eon wrapper things like Witcher 2.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of
It's a sore
unfortunate.
point. Yeah, it's a sore point for some Linux gamers, I'll be honest.
But Osiris and I have been testing it out, and it's apparently at a better stage than Witcher 2 was when it was released. So
Okay.
it's reasonably playable. I found that it did not. It was very jerky. It had a lot of um, input lag if you had VSync off.
Ah, okay.
And with everything at Ultra, even though I'm running a 780, at 1080p, it still wouldn't hold 60 FPS, so when that happens, I usually turn the VSync off. But I turned it back on, and yeah, it makes it a lot better. And
Yeah.
Osiris streamed it last night.
I had
Yep.
a very similar result. If I turned off VSync, I could get up to like I seen it go all the way up to 140 frames per second, but the input lag got so bad you couldn't even control it. And then it it completely pegged my system at 100% CPU usage, the point
Oh.
where I had to hard shut down the game and reboot it back up.
Huh.
And putting VSync on fixed all of that. And I also turned off mouse smoothing. That seemed to help with the input lag. Or not,
Well,
is it mouse smoothing or what is that option? That can,
I don't know.
yeah, something
Yeah,
like that.
I
It's
haven't
mouse
even played it
something.
yet, so I can't give any input on that. But
I
I
said
will
my
say
volume is low.
this. Yeah, you are a little bit low. I will say this though. The Witcher 2 with the Eon wrapper, recently received some major updates, and that's running on the Eon wrapper as well. Virtual Programming is the company that did the wrapper and released The Witcher 2. So I'm happy to see at least that BioShock Infinite, you know, didn't wasn't released in as poor a state as The Witcher 2 was. So hopefully with a little bit of time and some feedback from the community, the game will only improve. And there's usually a little tiny things that you can change in a config file or in some config file that's on in your home drive that can improve performance as well. Like those of us that have NVIDIA, you can run the GL optimizations, which really helped out a lot on The Witcher 2 originally. That almost makes it so it's it's doing some kind of trickery where it's almost multi-threading for the GPU. Don't quote me because I'm not exactly sure what the NVIDIA OpenGL optimizations does, but I know that it can improve performance. So, um, I think it's great that games like this are getting released, even though it's how old did you say the game is? 2-year old game
Yeah, it was
or not?
released in
Is it?
March of 2013.
Okay. I did actually live stream this on Windows, probably a year ago, maybe now at this point, around March of 2014, and I had a blast playing the game. It's a good game to stream, I think, because of just it. I don't know. I really enjoyed the game. I remember playing BioShock, the original BioShock, or maybe it was even BioShock 2 I played that on Xbox 360 when I had a GameFly account where, you can get games sent to you almost like you're renting them, kind of like a Blockbuster thing, and they send you 2 games, and then, as long as you send it back, they'll give you another game. So I was playing BioShock that way, and it was good. It was definitely good. So what's the price on it? What do we got? Wow, $30?
This game has been down to $30 for a while
Holy
since its
cow.
release.
Yeah,
Um,
that's
yeah.
kind of surprising to me for a AAA title being just released on Linux, and they
Well,
didn't
no,
they
it's
didn't
been
try
that
to
way.
gouge us right
It's
away.
been that way. It's been that
Well,
way.
I know. I'm just saying that's pretty cool that it's not 50, $60 right away. I
Well, it
forget
was
what we
60
I forget
bucks
what we paid.
when it came
Yeah, I
out.
don't know. Yeah, I don't know if I paid that originally. I don't remember. I'm
I
pretty sure
definitely did
I
not pay that.
Yeah.
I know I have it because I saw that it updated in my library, so I paid something for it at some point. Well, wait, I bought it obviously for Windows. That's what it was. Yeah. Duh. So anyway, yeah, so that pretty much wraps up unless you have any closing arguments, Tomic, about your Linux game pick of the week.
No, the game runs reasonably well. So
Okay, and I guess we'll keep an eye on it as far as improvements. Hopefully that they can further optimize it for the different GPUs out there, NVIDIA, Intel, and AMD.
and if something breaks, you'll hear it here first.
Yeah, there you go. All right. So we have something new, sort of, this week. We have a roundtable that we're gonna do. So we'll kind of, this is new, and like have said in the past, the show is kind of always evolving and trying to always improve, based on feedback we're getting from viewers, or, just things that we feel might be, beneficial to do for the show. So we're going to try a little bit of a roundtable, and Tomic or Osiris, what do we got here?
All right. So just to explain really quick in 5 seconds what a roundtable is. A roundtable is we're going to take a topic which one of us feels is probably some kind of important within gaming and Linux, and basically discuss it with you guys. And this week we have, with more and more games being released in non-working and subpar states, should Valve shoulder some of the responsibility? This is obviously not just a Linux-related problem. This is a game-related problem, like console, Windows, Mac. Everybody has this problem. And since Steam kind of stands back from that situation, what do you guys think? That should they take some responsibility? Should they start issuing real refunds or something?
Personally, I think no, they shouldn't shoulder any of the responsibility. I mean, that's just my feeling on it.
So
If anything, the community should be getting down on these developers, whatever avenue, is best, whether that be the Steam community forums, or sending the developers emails, or just something. But I thought Gamergate or Boogie, and the masses, there's kind of a movement going forward already.
right.
That
So
is preventing people, or starting to not, buy into these pre-alpha crap games
no,
and shit
that's
like
not what
that.
that's about. This is like you buy a game. Let's say you buy BioShock Infinite for Steam OS, and it just didn't work at all. Now, this is the issue, and this is the law. They are the retailer of this product, so it doesn't matter whose fault it is. They sold you a product, and like if you go to Walmart or you go to a retail brick and mortar store, they say something that doesn't work, you take it back to the retail brick and mortar store. They then deal with the manufacturer. So devs being manufacturers, Valve being the retailer, Valve has never had the retailer responsibility. If try to get a refund back from Valve is like trying to
Yeah.
raise the dead. It's fucking impossible. Doesn't
Yeah.
happen.
Okay.
Not that
Except
I'm saying that they're responsible for it. I'm just saying, should they start
I know.
accepting some of this responsibility? And if they take the responsibility, they'll add some pressure to the developers. Hey, y'all stop giving us crap, and they'll stop taking the crap onto the to their Steam store, because they want their Steam store to be reputable and prestigious.
they are offering 14-day, no questions asked refunds in the European Union, but that is probably political pressure.
Yeah, because it's a law. Like, that's the thing, it's a law, and I believe it's pretty much a similar law here in the United States that just hasn't been nobody's actually taken it to court or said something about it.
Sure.
Probably the case.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, my opinion is, I guess I gave my opinion. It would be, Valve is doing a lot already, and they, I think, I just think the game developers really need to step up their game, and start, better releasing or not releasing stuff that doesn't work.
But that's true. But the point of this question is, you give your money to Valve, so you're not dealing with the developer. You have no type of business interaction with the developer. Just like if you go to a store, you have no type of business interaction with
Intel, let's
manufacturer.
Say. Right.
Yeah.
It's I have the interaction with Walmart or Target or Best Buy. You're right. Well, then I would say based on that, then Valve should start, cracking down and putting pressure on the developers to not, allow this type of tomfoolery to continue. I mean, it's especially hard to develop a game for Linux, in my opinion. And I think that's where some of the developers have made their voices heard on Reddit and various locations.
It's hard to port a game that was never intended for Linux. Not hard to make a game for Linux.
I would have to disagree with that statement.
No,
I'm saying it's hard to make a game for Linux because of the vast amounts of hardware configurations, along with the fact that there's not just one driver for that GPU.
No. So
like in Windows, there's just one driver. That's the driver, and that's what works.
This is not the topic of the debate, but I will forward you to a very good speech by Ryan Gordon that will dispute that fact very easily.
Okay. Well, let me know. Let me get the link whenever you have the time to get it to me.
I'll just DM it to you later on.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So that this is definitely. What's your opinion, Atomic? I don't know if I heard your opinion yet.
I find it difficult to formulate one because it's kind of muddy waters trying to give a refund for a non-physical item. So yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what's kind of the United States problem, since it's not clear cut and digital is still in the air as far as laws go here.
Yeah. It's digital media has been around for 10 years?
At least.
I mean, when MP3s came out, a lot has changed
that was 20 years ago.
Regards to buying digital media, and the lawmakers getting their freaking shit together, and getting these old laws that were, for fucking 20, 30 years ago, 50 years ago, getting those phased out and a more applicable law in place. I think is definitely needed, but we know how fast law or the government runs, slower than molasses. Yeah, right, pretty much. So I think you're right. I think if Valve could put a little pressure, where it would do some good, I think they should. Yes, I think that is their responsibility as the major digital distribution platform for gaming on all platforms, mostly Windows and Linux. I mean, but they're a major distribution platform. So, if developers will do their game and they're like, oh yeah, we'll just release it like this, even though we know there's issue X, Y, and Z, and people will still buy it because they did buy this game we did 6 months ago, and Valve is just letting this shit happen, then something needs to be done. You're absolutely, I would agree with you on that. Is that what your stance is too, Osiris?
Yeah. Like that, I'm not saying that they're responsible for any of the chaos that's going on in the industry. It's just that there has to be a singular point of responsibility, and since they're the one selling it to me, if I need something refunded, I need it. I need to talk to you about it. But there's no such thing as refunds until Atomic just mentioned it, which was the subtopic of this. Now in the Europe, you can get 14 days, the first 14 days refund, which is awesome. At least that's a start for somebody.
Right. Yep. I would agree. Okay. Well, I think that kind of covers this week's roundtable. Would you guys agree? We can move on.
Yep.
All right.
So the first topic in hardware is actually one of mine. This is the Asus X205TA, and I bought this to have a replacement to my now 7-year-old triple E PC, which has a 900 megahertz single-core Celeron.
Those triple E PCs. Oh my gosh. I remember when they were the way they were all the rage.
Yeah. But this has some decent specs. A quad-core processor, 2 gigs of RAM. Well, yeah, whatever. But it's horrendously incompatible with Linux at the moment because this does not do the traditional MBR boot. Actionable Chaos. The price tag is about $200, but I can't recommend it.
If you're in Linux.
Yes.
Usually, that older hardware, usually you can slap any Linux on it and revive the thing, and make it maybe an in-home streaming box to stream 720p gaming from your main gaming rig, or just repurpose it to, I don't know, like connect it to a Netflix, connect it to your TV, either VGA or HDMI to DVI or HDMI to HDMI, something like that. And you can repurpose these, old systems.
Right.
We could have a whole show dedicated just to repurposing old hardware, to be honest.
Okay. The deal with this is you cannot do any legacy boot. It doesn't do any kind of MBR. And almost all of the Linux distributions have a 64-bit UEFI. This has a 64-bit CPU, but it has a 32-bit UEFI, which is why it comes with Windows 32-bit. So that limits your options a lot. I've only found 2 different ISOs you can use with it. Fedora 17 SOAS and some special version of Debian. TechTorrent, it's the Asus X205TA. And no, you can't flash a different BIOS to it because I couldn't find one. I wish there was one. That would make it a whole lot easier. But this thing, the wireless adapter isn't compatible, but there is a driver going into the kernel in 3.19, I think. I could be wrong about that. And the same goes for the audio, which doesn't work, but also there's a driver in the pipeline. And the one that's going to kill it for me, and I'm going to send it back, is ACPI just does not work at all, and the backlight cannot be controlled, and it's way too bright. I have to turn my desktop monitors down to like 30% brightness because it just hurts my eyes. That just, no. So, yeah, do your research. If you're gonna buy anything with an Intel Atom chip, if it's a 64-bit Atom, but it only supports like 2 gigs of RAM, look on the arc.intel.com website for the particular CPU. If it's 64-bit but only supports like 2 gigs RAM, avoid it because they're all like that. They all have 32-bit UEFIs.
Yeah.
And it's probably similar to the problem that people are having with Chromebooks. Same problem. So that's my word on it.
Yeah.
All right. So I guess we're moving on.
Yep.
Speculation on the R9 398 X via leaked slides. If you want to pull up those slides, I think by video cards is where the slides came from. But the article is from Tech Power Up. According to these speculated specs, the 390 the 390X looks like it. The 390X looks like it's going to be a very big contender
Just
to the Titan
ridiculous.
X. It's just got
Yeah.
massive amounts of just compute power and just stuff crammed in it. And then when they got done cramming stuff in it, they put
crammed
some more
more?
stuff on top of it, and then they water cooled it because it's going to probably be a
Wow,
nuclear
it's good.
reactor.
Dude,
Yes.
just
Well,
imagine what
they're
it's going to be
saying
able to
it's
do
a
in the
200
open CL or, mining capabilities of it.
They're saying that it's
I
going to be a
mean,
250
it's-
watt, just like the 290X.
TDP.
I think.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I have seen.
I mean, that's reasonable.
that's pretty. And what's the Titan X's TDP? I thought I just read that
250.
it was 250. Yeah,
250.
okay.
It's got a
Wow.
4096-bit wide HBM memory bus. That's just insane. Holding up
Yes.
to 8 gigs of memory. More insanity. 1.25 gigahertz on the memory clock. What's the core clock? Am I not seeing it?
Up to 1050. It's the second line there.
Okay. 512 bit memory bus with GDDR5, obviously. 6 plus 8 pin connector, which I'm sure the aftermarket third party vendors will probably put an 8 and 8 because it seems like it would need it. They're
Or
they're
8, 8,
saying-
and 6.
or that'd
Yeah.
be insane.
Hey, it's been done.
They're saying there's going to be 2 variants though. There could be a water cooled version and an air cooled version. We don't know. Nobody knows obviously yet.
I think they're going to do that because they've got the water cooler for the 295X too, so kind of makes
Yeah.
sense.
If this comes out with these specs on it or even close, this is going to be an absolutely monster of a car. And then if AMD can drop the car into a good price range, obviously lower than $1,000, it better be. That'll be a game changer. And this is the real and if and wow is if they could make the unified driver stack actually at least within 10% comparable to the Windows counterpart in games, then we can talk. Then we can talk.
This card is going to be, yep. I mean, if AMD can get their ass in gear with the damn Linux drivers, and improve on Omega even further than they already have, which they've improved on certain cards, certain architectures, Tahiti, and I don't know all their darn, code names for all their architectures and chipsets and chips, but I know that they didn't improve for a lot of the newer cards, the 290Xs and some of the other newer ones. So hopefully, like you just said, with this new hardware, hopefully they got their new graphics stack in line, and just, this is really great for us gamers because, it basically is driving competition between the two companies, and gamers are the winners here because we get great products for hopefully, not outlandish pricing like the $1,000 freaking Titan X. I mean, as much as of a beast of a card that is, I don't know. I couldn't justify $1,000 graphics card unless
I could.
it does live streaming and coding like times 4 and streams it to 10 sites and does all my computational processing for all of my scientific experiments that I run to solve cancer and cure AIDS and all that. Then maybe I can justify $1,000 for one graphics card.
It makes a good point. It's not a brand new architecture. It's just the same one that's been modified and optimized and whatever other big words they like to use to make it think that it's not the same one. But yeah, it's the same one.
He said AIDS Simulator 2014. What?
Yeah, you gotta love that Kentucky shine, man.
Kentucky Shine? What is that? Taking an old product and just like painting it a new color?
No,
Oh,
he's responding to me pulling out the jug.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, you got to use a metal cup with it, or else it's gonna just melt through any of your plastic cups. So yeah.
And just as a quick note, I just tweeted out our show, which my Twitter is Ubuntu Addicted. If you wanted to retweet that, that would be very helpful. If you're not on Twitter, then, no big deal. You don't have to retweet it, but any retweets we do appreciate, because that gets us some more viewers and more exposure and, informs the peoples about gaming on Linux and how it is a thing. So yeah. So the next thing that we get to talk about is the Logitech G303 Daedalus. I don't even know how to pronounce that. Daedalus. It brings their best sensor down into the budget range.
Yeah.
So tell us about it. It's a mouse, looks like.
The G, what is the number? The G502 Proteus Core mouse is one of the best mice sensors on the market right now. It's a really good mouse for a really great price. Logitech has always made competent products, so they brought that really great sensor down into the lower range for people who don't want to spend $60-$70 for a mouse. With this G302 Daedalus Prime MOBA. They call it a MOBA mouse, but I don't see how in any way this is a MOBA mouse.
It doesn't have enough buttons.
Right, that's what I said. I think it has 6 programmable buttons on it. Yeah. Yeah, I don't get
which are probably not programmable in Linux, are they?
As long as they do standard inputs, yes.
Okay.
The resolution I looked at is kind of ridiculous. It's 200 DPI to 12,000 DPI.
12,000 DPI.
Yeah, I don't know a single person on the planet that uses 12,000 DPI.
Holy shit! I don't know what
this is the mouse is.
What my Steel Series? I have a Steel Series Sensei, pro gaming laser mouse. Ooh, it even has an LED on the bottom, and it says "Ubu, the Tech Guru." Yeah, but anyway, the DPI on that thing, I guarantee it's not 12,000, but maximum is, probably something along the lines of, I don't know, what are normal gaming mice go up to, 5,000, 8,000,
something in that area.
Yeah, but anyway, that's pretty ridiculous. But it is cool of Logitech to bring their better sensor down into a more affordable range for us poor people. The thing that I've been constantly tweeting to these manufacturers that do these accessories, mice and keyboards, is that, us gamers on Linux would like to be able to manipulate our hardware as well without having to run it in Wine or without having to boot into Windows. So I would really love if anybody watching our show right now has any type of contacts at either, Steel Series, or dare I say Razer, because I'm not sure about them, but Logitech, or any of these companies like this that we could talk with, and we could possibly make a whole segment on our show just showing off some Linux utilities and applications that allow you to program these extra buttons on the mouse and adjust the LCD screen on the bottom of this SteelSeries Sensei Raw, change the color of this logo. Just, it would be great to be able to utilize all the functions of the mouse and keyboards in Linux. There's chances are, if you do enough research, you probably will find some blog or some code on GitHub where somebody did, create a little script that does the stuff, but it's not all pretty in a nice little GUI window like you get, in Windows and so on and so forth. So
just
maybe one day,
and stop supporting it.
Maybe one day.
Rocat does make Linux supported stuff.
Oh, do they? Okay.
Yeah. But back to the mouse real quick. So it's got 6 programmable buttons. It's got 3 onboard memory profiles, which means that it has onboard non-volatile RAM, which means you can set it up if you chose to set it up in Windows, and then it'll just stay in there until you changed it again.
Oh,
I
but
think
And
that's true of most
it's
mice.
saved into the the controller and the inside the mouse, the computer
yes,
part of it. Okay, the brain.
yeah,
Well, then that's cool. Okay, that's cool then. Yeah, I don't like those cheaper mice that are basically software controlled, meaning it's not really stored inside the mouse.
yeah. Um,
You
it
can
says
try to link something actionable chaos. Links might not work, but go ahead. Yep,
it says
a
it has a
GitHub
7 foot
project. Sure.
cord, and it says it's RGB customizable. But I went to Logitech's website, and I don't find that to be true. I don't. It only comes on with blue LEDs on their website. So there's some type of difference in specs between this Anantech article and Logitech's website. They said the MSRP is $69.99 here, so maybe there's a sub version of this, whereas I think Logitech was saying it's something like $49.99. But it still says the exact same thing: Logitech G303 dateless mouse. So, anyways, looks like a decent mouse, especially if you get it in the $40 range. Because I use a G400, which costs me around 40-50 bucks, and I absolutely fanboy over Logitech because of their customer service, not necessarily their products. But I'd like to know if it's broke, you can send it back without question.
All right, that's awesome. So what do we got on the next thing of hardware? Oh, it's one that I posted. Dell's Linux PC Part 2. And this thing, it's the Dell 13 inch XPS, but now it's got all the 4K gloriness. Let me know when you got it up on the screen, Atomic. The
Yeah, it's there.
Dell 13 inch XPS. It's called the Developer Edition. Well, that was the first one. So this newer one, I guess it's a M3800 is the model number, and for a measly $70 more, you can go past that poor people 1080p display and get a 3840 by 2160 display in only 13 inches. Oh my pixels. No, I'm sorry, 15.6 inches. 15.6 UHD resolution 4K display. And like I said, it's the M3800 by Dell. Um, this laptop, it is definitely on the pricier end at, with the top specs at $2,800. But, this thing is a beast of a machine. You know, the GPU that it comes with is a where is it? So it's got a 2.3 gigahertz Intel i7 4712HQ. Comes with 16 gig of RAM. Um, it's got the so it's got the NVIDIA Quadro K1100M with it's only got 2 gig of GDDR5. But you got to remember, this isn't really a gaming laptop. It's a developer's edition laptop. Um, so I don't really know the gaming capabilities of the Quadro cards. I know that there's been other YouTubers that have done videos that have stated flat out that these Quadro cards are for workstation type utilities and applications like creating 3D models. Like that's actually what I do in my day job. I use 3D modeling software called PTC Creo. And then there's other ones like AutoCAD and so on and so forth. But so these Quadro cards are more so just for the workstation type applications. So I don't know how their gaming capabilities are, but this laptop it's a beast of a laptop. I mean, it looks pretty sleek. Um,
They usually don't game because they have different drivers completely.
right. Yep. I guess I should have made that clear. Right. So it does have, you know, all the bells and whistles pretty much. The bad things to note about this is that obviously the Thunderbolt port doesn't work with Linux. Um, the There is some scaling issues still with 4K at the application level. It's kind of all over the place with the applications when it tries to scale it on 4K. Um, if you're after just the Linux on a laptop, you can obviously find one way cheaper than the M3800 starting price from Dell. And the bad part is apparently from this review on Ars Technica, very reliable source, is the battery life with the NVIDIA GPU enabled is way too short, for a day's worth of working. So that would be something to caution you if you are interested in this laptop. But it does come it's pre-configured with Ubuntu 14.04, and there's actually a dedicated team, Barton George and other Dell engineers. They're the ones that worry about all the packaging and the drivers so that you don't have to. So, when we say it's pre-configured, factory pre-configured with Ubuntu, it is, and it's just going to work. So that's a plus, if you're not interested in all the tinkering and trying to figure out if you can get this Windows laptop to run Linux, this might be your go-to laptop if you just have 20 or, $1,500 to $2,000 that you want to just blow. This thing, Dell is a very good company, I would say, and the support aspect as well. So that's could be a huge factor for you if you're looking for something with a good warranty and good support. This might be it for you. So that's pretty much it. I just wanted to share that with because Dell came out with that XPS 13 a while ago. So this is kind of like a part two of their Ubuntu Developer Edition laptops. So here we go. Now I guess we can get into the main meat of the show.
Yes.
And we got a lot of great topics. So the first one is kind of astounding. Steam sets a brand new record with 9 million concurrent users.
Well, obviously we can extrapolate from this that PC gaming is dead. Long live consoles.
Yes. I got mine on on order right now. It's being shipped to me.
Your console?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to be left out.
Yeah, so I just have a $3,000 piece of shit over here.
Yes.
Because nobody plays PC anymore.
Right. Yeah. So apparently, the unsurprising big winner of the day, as recorded by VG247, was Dota 2, which peaked with more than 898,000 users.
The top three games are all Valve.
Yep.
They're always Valve. And
Counter-Strike.
Civilization is always up there. Payday 2 is probably up there because of the sale.
Yeah, it was free. Well, it was
Probably.
free. I don't know if they had a sale, but it was free to play and free to download.
Well, it was a sale
weekend.
during that SteamOS sale also. So
Okay.
It's kind of a back-to-back thing, I think.
Sure. Yeah.
And-
So the top three games were Dota 2, Counter-Strike Global Offense, and Team Fortress 2, which, if you think about it, Team Fortress 2 has been around for how long? And that game, still to this day, actually just received a gigantic update. When I opened Steam today, it was filled with the Team Fortress 2 updates that they made. So, when you get a game like that, that is a very solid first-person shooter. It runs great on Linux. I do Team Fortress Tuesdays every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Shameless plug. And I play with you guys, I play with the viewers, and we have a great time in it. There's a couple servers that we always go back to and play on those because the ping's pretty good. The people on it talk and communicate and have fun, and it's a great game. So, I don't think it's surprising that since that's a free-to-play game as well, as Dota 2 is not free, right? Or it is?
Yes, all of those
Yes.
games are free. I mean, yes, Dota and Team Fortress are free. Counter Strike is usually $7.
Okay. Well, Sid Meier's isn't free. Payday 2 isn't free. The rest aren't. But
Payday 2 is not
Cities-
usually on this. Cities is not usually on this. Gary's Mod is always on this. Skyrim has been on there for years. Football Manager is always on there because it's really popular in Europe.
Yeah.
And Arma 3 hovers in and out of this list, I believe. So most of the suspects on this list are usually on this list. Some of the other ones snuck up in there because of releases and sales.
Yeah. So apparently in late 2000, just to give everybody perspective here, in late 2012, they peaked at 6 million concurrent users. Then in 2013, 7 million. And now we're at 9 million concurrent gamers. That is just, man, that just tells you something right there. That is so awesome. So awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know how many
I could have
concurrent
sworn
users.
I could have sworn I've seen that number higher before, though, but who knows?
This is an article on PC Gamer, so maybe it's, I'm not sure. They must count, I mean, this is people just logged in. That's all you have to do is be logged into Steam, right? Or no, they actually have game counts.
Playing.
So
And
I guess you have to be playing.
They get this stat directly from Valve. If you go into your Steam, you can go to get the Steam stat right now.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, cool. So that was the first kind of topic I wanted to cover. I think you had the next topic there, Osiris. Let us have it.
All right. Valve gets a failing report in customer support. And
No.
Yes.
which it goes exactly with
what we were saying earlier.
Our roundtable, yes, because
Yeah.
they don't have any customer support. I dare you to call to somebody at Valve. I just dare you. And if you say you did, you're lying.
Yeah, it's
But-
kind of like trying to get a hold of somebody at YouTube when you have a problem.
Yeah. But
Good
I got
luck.
their personal phone number, so it's okay.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Sure.
So so the Better Business Bureau, or the BBB, as they're also known, who kind of grades American companies, I think mostly only. I don't know if they extend outside the United States. But
I don't think so.
Okay, well, for those who are not in the United States, BBB, or the Better Business Bureau, is the group who grades grades businesses in the United States on their reputability and their customer support and all that good stuff. And
Well,
Valve got an F.
they don't grade them.
Well,
They
it's
take
user
the
submitted.
feedback from the user submit. Okay,
It's user submitted, and Valve got an F because, first of all, anybody who's going to usually go to some place to about something, it's because they're complaining. That's, I think, portion of the reason. The other reason is because there is no customer support. Not that you really usually need some, but when you do need customer support with something, it's usually for a good reason, and they don't have any. But there's some guy named Eric Johnson who works at Valve who says, yes, we acknowledge the fact that our customer service is nothing. It doesn't exist. It's nil. And says that we need to work to fix that. But on the other hand, BBB is not even a real metric for grading businesses, in his opinion, which he's probably right. Because that's, like I said, that's probably the place where people go to bitch and complain about things nowadays, since internet is so easy to do that with.
Yeah, you get, I mean, for every person that actually puts a comment down or whatever, or contacts the BBB with positive feedback, there's probably 100 negative feedbacks.
Right.
People don't take the time, mostly I'm not saying always, but mostly people don't take the time to give a review or positive feedback. Mostly. Some people do,
Just to correct this a little here, you don't actually submit feedback to the BBB. They rate the company. You would contact them if you had a problem with them, and then the BBB contacts the company, and they rate the company based on how the interaction goes from there.
Okay.
And I bet you
And-
they can't find anybody at Valve either.
Blind Run says that they rate NCIX. Well,
They have a
NCIX.
North America division also, though. So I
Yeah,
don't know how that
that's
works.
yeah.
I mean, not North America,
So
United States.
not sure on that one.
Why does Twitch's chat suck so bad that it won't even load?
It's just you.
Why is that a thing?
This year works here.
Is Ubu
Oh,
then
okay.
don't load?
Right? I'm pretty sure that
Did you write that script?
Yes.
Right.
They contacted me specifically to write that script.
Nice. All right. Well, is that it? Is that we can go to the next topic?
Yeah. So Valve's customer service sucks. We all know that. Moving on.
Yes.
All right. X Rebirth releases on Steam OS/Linux. It looks to be an open world space sim, and it's getting mixed reviews, but most seemingly because of a buggy Windows release. Have any of you guys purchased it yet?
Not going
I
X
didn't.
Rebirth just sounds like a horrible name. Who the F would name a game?
Well, the
Well,
series is
actually,
named X.
Rebirth.
to. Yeah, it's named X because of the series. It's called X.
Okay. All right.
Which
Well,
is
Binding of
seemingly a popular
Isaac,
sim.
Rebirth as well. So Rebirth, I guess, is a thing.
Yeah.
I
so
prefer the part deux. Part deux. You know,
They
when,
make what
when
they
you
call
do this, but whatever.
X Universe games, and this is I think this one is the latest in all those X games. Now, if you go to their pages, it gets mixed reviews. It seems like, but I also read through quite a few of the reviews and other places on the internet. I think a lot of that had to do with the very bad launch of the title, this particular title, which was also informed to me by one of the friends of ours.
Of the show.
And so it seems that they're in their latest patch 3.5 that it's in a very stable state right now. And I don't know whether that means it's on Windows or Linux. Probably referring to Windows. So we don't know what it works like on Linux yet. Nobody can. There's an actually. If you look all the way down at the bottom of this article, there is a link to the Linux Alpha support thread, which I think I'll just dump that into the show notes, in case anybody's worrying about that in the future, and you can see what it's looking like right now for Linux. But it seems like a cool game. It's an open world space game. How many of those do we have? You can never have enough open world space games. Just saying.
Right. I don't think we have any. Well, no, I take that back. You're right. There is some.
What? I don't think there's none.
There's that Kerbal Space Program, isn't that?
No. Open world as in like you go anywhere and do anything you want at any time in 3D space. Unless
I thought that. Okay, Kerbal Space Program doesn't do that.
that's a physics simulator.
All right.
Yeah, Kerbal Space Program's a very different game.
Okay. All right.
Think of open world as just a sandbox, like you just do stuff.
Borderlands. Right. That's an open world.
Think Skyrim.
GTA.
Yeah, GTA. There you go. Sandbox.
Okay. Yeah, Gary's mod.
Yeah. So
Right.
if people like open world space games are interested, there you go.
And I will actually let's see. I still have Hitbox chat open. I can put the link in the chats in case anybody wants to check out that thread for the Linux Alpha, testing thread or whatever. And it's not letting me post it on YouTube because it's YouTube. But anyway, all right. Well, what do we got for the next topic?
City Skylines hits $250,000 sold in 24 hours. Die SimCity, die.
Damn.
Is
more
this
shots fired?
is this intended to be a competitor to SimCity?
Yeah, more or less. It's a little bit, from what I've seen, it's a little bit more involved or detailed, I guess you could say, or finite control over things. But basically, you build cities, so yeah, it's the same thing. Now, I have, as a disclaimer, I haven't personally played it, but I've watched Blind play this game and a few other people. I've seen people play it on Linux also, and everybody says the same thing. Great game, amazing game, and guess what? It works when you buy it.
Shut
Unlike that other
up.
game, SimCity.
Yeah, I remember that was a horrible launch. Oh my gosh. People were, yeah, that was bad.
Plus, SimCity doesn't give the Penguins any love, so just another reason not to like SimCity.
Yeah.
There's just so many reasons for this game to be good. Now, it did suffer from some performance issues day one.
Well,
which I
what
think
game doesn't?
Yeah, what game doesn't? But this is a game that you don't need 60 frames per second on, really. So as long as you keep it in the 30 and up range, you should be all right. You're not going to be sitting there crying in your Cheerios because of it.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Well, Humble serves up some Linux gaming bundle goodness. I actually didn't even know about this. Or did I? Let me see. Opening now.
And I'm
Yeah.
crying because I own most of the games on this bundle.
We have Tetrabot and Company. We have Titan Attacks.
Got
we
that
have
one.
the Inner World. We
Probably
have
got that one.
VVVVVV.
Got it.
If you pay $10 or more, you can unlock Shadowrun Returns.
I got that.
You
And
have
Titan Attacks.
Costume Quest, which I actually had purchased for Xbox 360 for my stepdaughter.
I was going to say, I hope it wasn't for you.
No, it was for her.
That'd
And
be
then
weird.
Ironclad Tactics.
And more games
It says
coming.
more games, question mark, or exclamation mark. Yeah, so who knows what other games, will be coming. I mean, these Humble bundles are just great in my opinion. I've gotten a lot of great Linux titles like Bastion and some other ones through Humble bundles. This says it's the Humble Bundle 12. I swear to God, there's already been a Humble Bundle 12 before. So I don't
Yeah,
get how they're
you just been
numbering
drinking too much.
Right, too much coffee.
Don't drink the Kool-Aid.
I don't.
Don't drink
Yeah.
the Kool-Aid.
No, you drank too much of that shine I sent you.
Right. So
Pretty sure it's a
do we
crime
know
to export shine.
Do we know Atomic? These games. So the last three I said, Costume Quest and Ironclad Tactics, and then more games. Those get unlocked if you spend more than the average of $5.04. So when you think about it, if you spend more than 10, you're getting 7 games, potentially more than 7 games, because they actually have a placeholder that says more games, question mark, question mark. So, you can't beat that. You spend more than $10, get yourself 7 games. How many of them, more than half run in Linux?
All of them.
Do we know? All of them.
The Inner World is showing not available for Linux. If you
Even though it
mouse
says-
over the Steam icon,
Uh,
and it will show you.
Why does it say Linux debut?
Maybe
Well,
It literally says
slated to come.
Linux debut.
okay. It's not going to be on Steam, but you can download it on the Humble site for Linux. That's what that means.
Okay, x86 compatible, 1.4 gigahertz minimum are the requirements. It's DRM free. You need 2 gig of memory. You need a modern 3D graphics card with at least 256 megabits of VRAM. Okay, so my MX440 will work in my calculator. And then hard disk space, you need 2 gig. And it's an additional note, it does say that you may or may not need 32-bit libraries. Some games, require a lot of 32-bit
We're gonna have to really clean that
libraries.
situation up, but that's for another topic.
Oh, that could be a whole show in itself. Yeah, how Steam emulates a, Ubuntu 14.04 or Ubuntu 12.04, 32-bit system. It's just,
Yeah, that's kind of a mess.
That needs to just end. But yeah, like you said, that's a whole nother topic for another show.
Okay. Steam curators.
Steam
Sure.
curators.
Is that you, Osiris?
Sure. Steam curators
We're
list.
actually just sorry. One quick note: Linux Tech and Gaming on Steam, our group. I don't. Are we considered a curator?
We are a curator. We are
Okay.
individually
Okay.
curators. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
But since
So
we're not getting paid, we're not getting free games yet. This doesn't really apply to us.
sort of.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we have gotten a few games for free. But anyway, go ahead.
Steam curators list and broadcasting service now require you to say if you're getting paid. So the Steam curators list is like where the what are they called? The group managers and people can recommend a game. You can get to that from the Steam's homepage. Like you can see Total Biscuit and all those other guys, blah blah blah, and then you can see us, of course, the only curators that you even need to know about. And then the broadcasting service. I think I think they're talking about the streaming service there.
Yes, I believe so.
So if you're getting
Unfortunately,
paid,
that's not available to Linux yet. Last I tried it,
no,
but
it's not.
okay.
So if you're recommending a game on Steam or streaming it and in recommendation, then you have to disclose the fact that somebody is paying you for that. So if ABC Games gives you pays you $10 and says, "Hey, go add this to your list," you have to say that by the agreement. Now that doesn't mean it's going to happen, but
Right. Yeah.
that is now in the agreement. So if you get caught, you can probably have your account banned. That is why they're probably doing it.
Yep. I would assume so. I mean, I think that's the fairest policy. Isn't YouTube actually made some comment recently about in video advertising, direct placement of products? I mean,
You just
that's
can't.
not
You
really
just
exactly related to what we're
no,
talking about, but
right.
it
You just can't add
sorta
logos.
is.
You just can't have logos in your video and not have YouTube getting a cut of that logo placement if you're getting paid for it. But otherwise, you can still do ad placements. You just got to be more creative.
Okay, gotcha. So,
Uh,
I mean, I think this is the fairest policy, though. You know that it should be transparent. Well, I don't know if transparent's the right word to use there, but
yeah,
you know,
transparent.
our viewers should be aware. Viewers of curators and people that review games or products, anything for that matter, should be aware if that person is receiving money, because you know, Total Biscuit, you know, generally I don't like mentioning other people, YouTubers or streamers on our show just because, you know, whatever. But Total Biscuit is a no nonsense game reviewer. You know, he tells you like it is. If it's shit, he's going to tell you it's shit and why it's shit. If it's good, he's going to tell you it's good. So, you know, if you're ever unsure about a game, you know, first check Linux Tech and Gaming. See if we have some, we just have a brand new section on our website that Atomic has been so you know, glorious to create a whole series called "Does It Run on Linux?" So all of his videos and all of his games that he's tried on Linux are up on the website now. A lot of them are, I should say. So if you're ever unsure if a game works or how it runs or whatnot, you know, you can check out linuxtechandgaming.com under games. Is it called? What's the tab? I forget the tab, Osiris.
What? The curators list?
For no, Linux Tech and Gaming, and specifically, does it run on Linux? It's called Games, right? Yeah, the Games tab. Yep. So you go to linuxtechandgaming.com, click on Games, and then there you go. Boom. You can see, you know, if your particular game is on the site yet. Speaking of, we should get a little search box, Osiris, for this section. But anyway, you know, so I think it's paramount that the viewers or the person knows if the person saying a game is good or whatnot, they should know if they're getting paid, because you know, if we don't know, who knows if they're just being paid to say it's good and it's not really good. I mean, that's a whole, you know, subject and topic on its own. For viewers are often call YouTubers sellouts when they start receiving products for free from companies for them to review and to give their opinion on. You know, if every product that he reviews is good, you almost have to start questioning whether or not, you know, if it's really, if it is he being paid, and can he do a bad review of a product, or does he just not put up the bad reviews? So, I think this is a good rule, in my opinion, for the whole curators thing. So yeah.
Sweet.
All right. What do we have next? We have a whole slew of rapid fire topics.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah, there's a lot.
Okay,
Oh,
so
I didn't even see number 3. Wow, number 3's kind of big. What?
yes. First
Are they
topic is
moving it?
GTK is 3.15.11 is now available for testing. It has over 20 fixes and updated translations. It's mainly a bug fix release. Fixes shadow problems in the KDE desktop environment. So yeah, that's that.
Yeah, so it's basically GTK Plus GUI toolkit. For those of you that are developers and develop, programs that utilize the GTK Plus framework, there's been a lot of updates and fixes for the toolkit so that, like Atomic just said, your apps run good in in KDE and stuff.
Yes.
All right, the next one,
Crunchbang. Yes.
is no more.
Yeah.
Wow, Crunchbang has been around for a long time.
I used that a
Hasn't
little bit in the past. The Stabler release, or Statler. It's whatever that Muppet is named. I forget. But they even had his likeness in the distribution on Conky or something else. But it's kind of sad.
Yeah, I mean, the developer has just said that he's, no longer going to be, working on it. And usually when projects like this die off, sometimes somebody will come along and actually become the new developer or a new person that's responsible for keeping it up to date and whatnot. But I think there's already been like forks of Crunchbang. And for those of you that don't know, Crunchbang is a Linux distribution based on Debian that uses OpenBox for the window manager. But I think there's like Crunchbang Plus Plus or Crunchbang Plus, or there's some type of fork, for those of you that really, liked Crunchbang and whatnot. So, yeah. Moving on, we have Google Code is shutting down.
It's going the way of
I don't even
GeoCities.
believe this. What?
They are bowing to GitHub.
Wow.
You are the superior technology.
That's huge. I can't believe that. Google Code. There's been so many great projects, that were created in Google Code. But, they're basically saying that, yep, GitHub is the new go-to, place to collaborate on code together and whatnot. They do have Google Code to GitHub exporter tools, and there's they also are offering standalone tools for migrating to GitHub and Bitbucket and SourceForge. Google Code offers project importer services and whatnot. So, goodbye Google Code. There's been a lot done with you.
Yes.
So
if
I wonder if
you have anything on Google Code right now, they have stopped new project creation as of now, and everything's going to be removed January 25th of 2016. So if you have anything on there, go ahead and get it exported now.
Yeah, definitely. You don't want to lose all your code, bro. That would suck. All right. Well, that's that. Now, Duvuan. For those of you that recall, Duvuan was a fork of Debian, which did not utilize systemd.
Something that has been a point of contention for me because of the whatever is with the system logs. They're binary format instead of text format.
Yeah,
It's like,
it shouldn't
what?
be, right. Trying to just view a simple log file and you have
Why is that
to,
a thing?
right, launch some kind of log viewer and some bullshit, right?
Yeah.
So Duvuan, was a fork that was, we talked about it in weeks or months ago in our show. And, you know, at the time it was kind of just like thought of like, oh, these are just people that are ranting, and because they're upset the decision was made to go towards system D with Debian, this isn't really going to happen. Well, it
It
is.
happened.
Yeah, it happened, and the group of unknown developers, have now kind of made their presence known. They're have outed themselves, and they're looking for contributions, probably as far as contributing towards the code, as well as money contributions and whatnot. It's going to derive its own installer. It's going to derive its own package repositories from Debian, modifying them where necessary. And the first goal of Devuan is to remove systemd while still inheriting the Debian development workflow. Free from bloat as a minimalistic base distro, is what their goal is. Their objective for spring of 2015 is that users will be able to switch from Debian 7 to Devuan 1 smoothly. Just as if you do a dist upgrade, to Jesse. That's what it says on Devuan.org. All right, moving on. Holy crap, this is a big one, and I just saw this today on the social medias. Windows 10 upgrade will be free even for pirates. Holy cats. That is, that could be a whole show, in itself, but I kind of, the reason I posted this one is, do we really think that, is this because Microsoft thinks they're irrelevant? Thinks that their desktop OS is garbage?
Just
Yes.
to make it in
Mavericks.
perspective, Bill Gates did state like 10, 15 years ago that if somebody's going to pirate anything, I hope it's Microsoft products. So this has been a long-standing thing of the company. They have never tried to confront pirators of Windows. Never. Not ever. They don't care. They want you to. They want you to pirate Windows. That's always been a thing. Because if you're pirating Windows, that means you're using it, and that means other people. It just makes it part of the social culture.
It's locking you into the ecosystem, basically.
Right. Exactly.
Right. Okay, but I know I've seen plenty of articles in the news about cracking down on pirates
just,
with corporations and stuff. So I kind of
corporations are different. No, that's not the same. You shouldn't be pirating if you're an enterprise or a corporation or a business. No, period. That's out of the question.
All right, Windows kills off Internet Explorer.
Fuck yeah.
No.
What?
No, they didn't.
Is this even an article true? Like, what is this?
They just renamed Internet Explorer to Spartan. And there you go.
Jesus.
Well, then it's not Internet Explorer no more.
We actually just finally, at my work, we just upgraded from Internet Explorer 8 to 11. It was like,
what the hell?
Well, we're stuck on 8 because we use Windchill, and Windchill is like a whole database management system for Creo, our 3D modeling software. But so we got an update to Windchill to 10.2. Then they were able to finally update to Internet Explorer 11 for us designers that utilize this 3D modeling software. But anyway, so they're renaming it to Spartan. Yeah.
Yeah. They put lipstick on the pig. That's all they did.
Right.
Don't kiss
right. Yeah. I remember mentioning this back in January, I'm pretty sure. Project Spartan was revealed during Microsoft's Windows 10 event in January.
Probably.
It's going to have full integration with Cortana, which is Microsoft's AI assistant like Siri, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so Internet Explorer, welcome, Spartan. I wonder if they're going to come up with some genius marketing thing that says we are Sparta. With their new browser or some shit like that. I could see that being kind of funny.
Spartan.
Yeah.
Yay.
and then just show it like we should do like a joke of it and just show it getting raped by spyware and malware.
That wouldn't
You
be
know,
hard to do.
and making no, I know, yeah, that's my point. All right, and the last one we have, we could have probably even put in the hardware section, is another Ubuntu phone has been confirmed over, in the European area. This isn't anything new really because the company had the Mizu, or I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. It's Meizu. They're I believe, a Chinese company. It's going to release the MX4 Ubuntu Edition phone. They just talked about it at the Mobile World Conference 2015. It's currently going on it was going on back on March 3rd in Barcelona. And, they finally put out some pictures of it. And I bought the original first Ubuntu phone from BQ, which is the Azuris E4.5 or something like that. I forget the exact model number, but the specs of that one that I bought are nothing to really, get blown away by. The specs of this thing, holy crap! It's got a quad core 2.2 gigahertz Cortex A17 processor and a quad core 1.7 gigahertz A7 processor. Two quad cores used in tandem or separately depending on the needs. So this is an octa-core phone, people. I mean, the specs of it, it's got the Corning Gorilla Glass 3. It's got a 20.7 megapixel rear camera, just a measly 2 megapixel front facing camera. It's got the 5.36 Sharp or JDI display. The specs of this thing are holy cats. I don't know what the pricing is going to be for this thing, but this Ubuntu phone, it's currently only being sold in the international markets. It's the Mizu MX4. People are probably going to ask me, hey, why didn't you wait for the better Ubuntu phone? Why'd you buy the BQ, Azuris or Aquarius? I think it's Aquarius or something. I
Probably
forget the
because you
exact
couldn't
model
afford
number.
the Meizu.
Right. And not only that, I got the original first official Ubuntu phone. I wanted to make sure that I was in that boat. And some of you maybe, don't understand that, but some of you do maybe understand it. It's just one of those things. I've been supporting Ubuntu since approximately 2005. I've been touting Linux and Ubuntu specifically for a long time. And, this Mark Shuttleworth's vision of convergence, getting the desktop, the tablet, and the phone, all one operating system, all, happy convergence and being able to take your phone and dock it, and then it's Bluetooth connected to a keyboard and a mouse, and that's your computer, and then you undock it and put it in your pocket, and someone's typing rapidly and distracting me. But anyway, yeah, Actionable Chaos says it's a hipster thing. There you go. Yep. It's just one of those things, it's the very first one. I had to have it. And I'm usually not the kind of consumer that does this stuff. I don't have a 4K monitor yet. I don't have the latest smartwatch. I don't have the, this and that. But this is a very specific niche phone, and the other thing is I don't know how many U.S. citizens, or I'm sorry, U.S.-based people will have these Ubuntu phones because they're only being released over in Europe. But they do take certain SIM cards that will allow it to work on the network that I'm already, a part of. So, yeah. So that's pretty much going to wrap up the show for today. That was our kind of last topic under our rapid fire topics. And, I thought the new, or the kind of the new layout of the show went pretty well. We don't want everybody to forget about our Steam group, which I've mentioned a few times. It is Linux Tech and Gaming. If you want to bring that up, Tomic, on the stream.
Yep.
All right. How many members are we at now?
We are at 83 members. So if you're not a
83.
member yet, you're not part of the cool kids, and you should hang your head in shame.
Right. I'd like to see that get to 100 before next week's podcast. So we're, a week away. Let's try to get 17 of your friends to join this great community of gamers. You don't have to run Linux to be part of this community, guys. Because just note, there is a lot of games that are multi-platform that would allow us to game together. Just to name a few, we have Guns of Icarus Online, which is a fun battle type situation where you're in a ship that flies in the air versus in the water, and that's one. Then you got Team Fortress 2 is another one that's multi-platform. Borderlands series. So you don't have to be a Linux gamer to join Linux Tech and Gaming, and that's about it. If you ever have questions on any of our contact information, you can get it right off of our website, linuxtechandgaming.com. And that's really all that I have. You guys, you got anything?
Yeah, just go to those Player Me links. Well, wrong page. Go to those Player Me links. Follow us on all the different social networks, the YouTubes, the Twitches, the Hitboxes, whatever. Join our Steam group and tweet at us.
Yeah, I'm wondering if we could maybe integrate into our show a little bit of, or maybe like an after party, like another awesome show, the Blind Run Gaming Show. They have an after party and they interact with their viewers, and we could have a little segment where we answer people's questions and whatnot. So that might be something that we could do in the future. So that's it. That's all I got. Shameless plug. You can get Ubu gear at ubuthetechguru.spreadshirt.com.
When I have ASCII around, I'll give you the URL.
All right.
But right now I don't have gear. So, see y'all later, guys.
Laters. Peace. We're out.